Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for hopping on here. Tonight, we're not going to take up too much of your time. I normally do not Zoom like on the weekends, but I did want to take an opportunity before we get too far into this fundraiser to allow us the opportunity to just kind of come together, meet the mother behind this campaign that we're doing as a group. And I really want to thank each and every one of you, all of you, whether you get one donation, 18, 100, it doesn't matter. Your hearts are in the right place. And I personally really appreciate this. I can't wait for you to meet DeLasper. Excuse me, a lot of her posts are public, so you can follow her on Facebook as well. I encourage you, don't tag her in anything just because she's going to get overwhelmed. There's like 900 of us, one of her. So just a little bit of etiquette there. And I think she also has her approvals on, and rightfully so. But you can follow the journey and you can kind of follow Amoree. DeLasper used to be a Scentsy consultant, and she was a great consultant. And so Amanda and I know her from working with her, and she is a mother of a special needs daughter. And at some point, you know, she just had to kind of transition and give all of her focus and attention over to her daughter. And you're going to find out why tonight. But let me go ahead and hand this over to Amanda Morgan. Tonight's objective is really just to kind of bring all of us a little bit closer and deeper into this fundraiser, because I'm a firm believer when it comes to fundraisers, if you are a little bit closer and you understand the story more and you can see the faces and hear the voices, it has an even greater and more profound impact. And then that way you can also deliver this to your circle of friends to share in more depth. It's not just what I'm saying or what you heard, you know, or what you saw. It's a story that you're now being brought into. So again, thank you all for supporting. This fundraiser starts now. It started on Friday, and I filled out some paperwork with the hospital. It's going to go now, and right now I have it set until July 7th. But I was telling Amanda this morning that Scentsy is doing this Buddy Bonanza. I know this month and through next month, every Monday we're getting a new buddy or new buddies. And so we'll see what we look like on July the 7th and possibly extend through the end of July, because our goal is to get as many buddies to Our Ladies of the Lake Hospital. And also we're donating our commissions to No Greater Love, which is Amoree's journey. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and hop over to Amanda very quickly, so that way you can talk about the iPad. Our donations that we're going to be given to No Greater Love, they are going to provide iPads to other autistic children who are very intelligent. They're so smart. I bet Drake can like run circles around me if it came to Mario Kart or whatever. They're so smart, but the world they may not see what we see or know what we know, because the only thing that's missing is that they can't articulate verbally how smart they are. But with these iPads, Amanda's going to show us how technology can really change that. So Amanda, you've got the floor there.
All right. Hey, y'all. Okay, so my oldest son, Drake, has very limited verbal ability. So every kid on the spectrum is so different. We actually, all three of our boys are on the spectrum, and communication is tough for all three of them, but especially for him. He's considered like a very limited verbal ability because his language is so minimal, but also because he cannot speak his wants, needs. If he's hurt, sick, in pain, he cannot tell us, show us where it's at, anything like that. And so it's very difficult as a mom, and he just turned 13, you guys. So imagine not being able to just vent about how you feel, or, you know, what's going on with you, you know? So like what we did, our insurance would not cover this. I kept trying and trying, and it just wasn't happening. And so what I did is I just went and I was like, you know what, forget it. Like, I spend money, wasted money on other crazy things. So I just went and bought him an iPad. We bought this app. So, you know, that iPads aren't cheap. no matter what model you're buying, right? And then the app alone is, I think it was like $65, something like that. So not cheap at all. So some of these families, you got to think that they're paying for all these other things, therapy sessions, doctor visits, prescription medication, whether it's for health or mental health, and just going about iPad. It may seem like no big deal to some people, but it's everything, like, for these families. And so being able to provide that for them and then give their child a tool to use for future is amazing. And so all right. So what I would say is, like, I, I do want to say that it is only a communication device. For us personally, we decided to lock him out of everything else. So this isn't a play toy. This is a true communication device. So and what it does is he has all these different things that he can type in there, and there's pictures along with it. And so basically, like, for example, he can just type in, like, I want, here he goes. You, okay. So anyway, I can pull up all the, but it's like, I want more water. So not only can he put a sentence together, but then get it to speak. I want more. And so it says, I want more cookies. I want food. Case maybe. Okay. So anyway, this is just put, words together. So maybe he can say that he type it out. And then it's also teaching him how to put together, because he can just, like, my friend Misty on here, she knows, like, a lot of times I'm on Marco Polo with her, and he'll come in here and we have like this stare down thing, and he's like saying to me, what do you want? Because he wants me to ask him what I want, but we just stare at each other back and forth because he can't tell me what he wants, what snack he wants. It's just not that easy, like, he may in his I want this darn cookie, but he's just looking at me and I'm looking at him and I don't know. But that's where this device comes in, and he can tell me, I want a cookie, I want fruit, whatever. So anyway, it's just an amazing tool to help him communicate where he can't get his mouth and brain to work together. It helps him communicate with us. And I know the other day I was so proud of him. He walked to the cabinet and he said, I was floored. I believe that child communicated what he wanted, and it was a full sentence. It was amazing. I can't even describe the feeling. So anyway, that being said, like, this can be a game changer for these families, because most of them just can't afford to drop money on an iPad. And it will be such a blessing. So if y'all have questions or anything, obviously you can reach out to me anytime or ask right now, but I hope that's helpful for you guys, so you know a little bit more about how these devices can help these kids and change their lives.
Thank you, Amanda. Why is it doing that? Okay, thank you, Amanda. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm going to figure this out. I'm trying to stream this so that way others can watch on our team page. But I just want to say thank you. I remember that there was times where Amanda was like, I'm taking Drake to the doctor. Something's wrong, and I wish he could communicate with me and tell me what's wrong. And she gets to the doctor, and come to find out he has like double painful ear infections. And who knows how long, because he could never articulate it, where, other kids could say my ear hurts, or this is bothering me, or they could cry, or they could voice. He just tolerated the pain for who knows how long. So that's why what we're doing, it means so much. We take for granted the capabilities that we have. And then we meet other families that life is way more challenging for them. So before we give the floor over to DeLesper here, I think she's still with us. Yeah. Okay, I want to tell you that as a group, we have a few initiatives with this particular fundraiser. Number one, we are going to bless other children at Our Lady of the Lake Hospital in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. we could have chosen any hospital, but that hospital is very near and dear to my heart because that hospital cared for my grandmother all the way up until she passed from colon cancer. But that Baton Rouge is where my dad is from as well, born and raised. So also, these children are going to be there. And I noticed that as many times as Amoree has been in the hospital, even right now, as I was watching the live videos that her mom was sharing, I could see her Scentsy buddy. And it just made me think for a moment, wow, if DeLasper goes home to shower, go to sleep, and go back in the morning, that buddy's there. And one thing that Amanda taught me is that structure and consistency is very important to those who are on the spectrum. So for her to see that buddy with her while she's in the hospital, I'm sure it means a lot and it's very comforting. But how amazing would it be for as many children as possible also to have those? I spoke with Sharon. DeLasper gave me a contact there, and I had shared this before on my live, told me that with these Scentsy buddies, I think she works with children that are at end of life and their parents. And what they do with our Scentsy buddies, they have a closet with the buddies. They unzip the pouch, they record the baby's heartbeat, they put the device in here. Of course, they get the, this as well, the scent pack, and they gift it to mom and dad. She told me a story about a mom who they were just head over heels thankful for the buddy and the heartbeat that was given to them. She inadvertently lost the buddy at some point. It was really a fluke, and the husband was panicking. And they contacted the hospital, and the buddy was discontinued, and they searched and searched and searched to find the buddy. They found the buddy. The husband had the heartbeat on his phone, and they were able to put it back together for mom. And that was such a huge blessing. I was brought to tears when she was telling me that story, because I know that these have an impact, but I didn't realize how great of an impact. So these are not just stuffed animals like some people might think they are. They are almost like a sensory experience, because you can feel it. When the hospital puts the heartbeat in it, you can hear it, you can smell it. So it invigorates a lot of the senses. One of the things that she did tell me is that for those that are end of life, they really like to navigate towards some of the non-licensed buddies because it's a little bit more softer. This would be soft. That is it a lamb? I don't know if it's a lamb or a sheep. I think it's a sheep that we have. It would be softer. The monkey would be a little soft. The koala bear would be a soft one. Some of the Nightmare Before Christmases, I love me some Black Panther, but if someone's at end of life, this probably wouldn't be the one that they would choose. So I'm telling you this just to be mindful, to make sure that you choose a variety, but even the non-licensed ones will be great. So I'm excited to see what Scentsy launches tomorrow. And I'm also going to talk with our executives and share the story that Sharon shared with me on Friday, and ask if they have any more Lenny the Lambs. Please bring it out for the bonanza. If they have anything else that would be appropriate, I'm really going to ask Lacey and whoever the powers might be to give those to us. Okay. The other objective is I want to also put No Greater Love out on the map, because I love supporting, nonprofit organizations that are out there making a difference in this world. So I'm educating my customers on that, because as Amanda mentioned, our commissions are going to go to that organization, and that organization in turn is going to purchase as many iPads that they can, so that way they can gift it to autistic children, so they can have a communication device just like Drake does as well. They might not ordinarily be able to afford that. The other thing is I also want to communicate about or educate about the autoimmune disease that Amoree currently is in crisis with. So I've shared enough, and I would love to now introduce our guest of honor for the evening, and that is Miss DeLasper Sanders.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we sure can.
Hi, how is everybody doing?
Doing well.
I am sorry for my tardiness. I just left Amoree at the hospital. It was a little rowdy up there, so I said I've got to come home to do this. We've had kind of a rough day today. She's on, well, the tube is still down, but it's no longer a ventilator. It's now a CPAP machine. And she's been having difficulty holding her breath together and not having coughing attacks and throwing up and vomiting. So I didn't go live today really showing her because they kept having to clean her up. But I want to read something to you that I actually wrote. And this will give you a little bit of an idea. It says, at the age of 7, my little girl was placed on life support for the 12th time due to myasthenia gravis. At the time, we had no diagnosis, and the doctors were grasping at straws to treat her body, which was shutting down on her. My daughter remained on the ventilator for 21 days. Her father and I slowly watched our daughter's life diminish over those days. On day 14, the medical staff in the pediatric intensive care unit was ready to take her off the ventilator. One doctor said that she knew our daughter and she was not ready, nor was she willing to give up on her at that moment. She wanted her to have one more round of therapy, which was IVIG, and see how she responded. Her father and I agreed with that doctor and decided to let her stay on the ventilator one more week. On day 21, we would turn off the ventilator and disconnect the tubes. That day, our family was gathered, and I had sent out a text that said, quote, on Friday, January 4th, 2019, we will disconnect Amoree from the ventilator. Our baby will have to fly solo at that point. We do not know if she will fly to us or if she will fly to heaven, but we know she will fly. Please hold our family in your light and your prayers on this day. God bless us, everyone, end quote. That day was a day I shall never forget. I said goodbye to my baby and told her how much I loved her. I held her hand as the nurses turned off the machine and the doctor took the tube out of her mouth. I held her hand as she opened her eyes and looked at me and smiled. She had flown to us. The PICU ward was shouting and screaming. She was breathing with no assisted oxygen. She was breathing on her own. 7 times 3 equals 21. 21 days of resiliency. That was a few years ago. On today, we are now at day 27 of being on a ventilator. It was terrible because my daughter is completely nonverbal. So I had no way of knowing anything was wrong with her at all, except she got up one day and stood up and slumped to the floor. She could no longer hold her body up. Now, from what I can go back and look and I can say, oh, I can remember seeing her do this, or I can remember seeing her kind of slide her foot instead of picking her foot up one day and just going, oh, she must have hurt her foot. But she had no way of telling me. I had no way of knowing because Amoree was in school. But Amoree was so sick in school that she was never able there long enough to get the communicative device because you had to go through steps to do it. And every step that they took Amoree through, she didn't like because Amoree was the child that didn't want PECs, and PECs were just pictures. She didn't want the pictures. You couldn't give her a picture of a chicken nugget and expect her to bring me the picture of the chicken nugget telling me she wanted chicken nuggets. That, to my child, that was beneath her. But for the school, they said, she's not handling PECs, she's not going to handle an iPad. My daughter could take an iPad apart and put it back together. That's just the type of child she is. And we weren't able to really see that or show that because she had no way of vocalizing what she really knew. And it's interesting because the only thing my daughter has ever said, we have snips. At 6 years old, she said, I have the key. Just like a person who had been speaking all of their life. It was not broken English. It was not, I have the, it was, and I don't have one on here. She picked it up and she said, I have the key. I have the key. Because she wanted to go outside. The next thing was at 9, her occupational therapist was able to get her to say, Mama, and record it for me. I treasure that recording. At 10, she said, I believe God. That's all she's ever said. And she's never spoken another word. So what I said is, her statement was a complete sentence, but it took her from 6 to 10 to get it out. And the statement is, I have the key, mama. I believe God. And that's what I built No Greater Love on. I have the key. What's the key? God. That's the whole key. Believing God. Y'all, when I first got the diagnosis of autism, I was mortified. I was angry. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. I stopped taking care of my daughter. I went into a deep, deep depression. It took a teacher coming to me and saying, get up. This is not the end of the world. But guess what? It was for me, because I knew the education system, and I knew what the education system was going to do to my daughter. She was going to be pushed in a corner and nobody was going to care about her. I had been a teacher for 15 years, had been one of the top 8 teachers in my state the year my daughter was born. So I knew what she was in for. That devastated me. I was angry at God. I wanted to know, why did I teach all these other people's little knothead children? And then when you finally give me one of my own, I taught English language arts. I talk to children. They talk back to me. And the one he gave me can't talk. Where did I do that at? What kind of world is this that we live in? And I was taking her to therapy one day, and my husband was driving, and he took her in ABA, and he came out and he said, there's a lady in there and she needs to talk to you, and I told her to come out here and talk to you. I gave him the same side eye roll that my child would give. And I said, why? And he said, because you need to talk to people, because you can get these moms okay with this diagnosis. And I was like, I don't like adults. I don't want to have anything to do with adults. Give me the children. You keep their moms. And he was like, no, this mama needs you. And I was like, okay, well, I'll talk to her next. And just as I'm saying that, the woman is at my door. And I'm like, you told her to come now? I don't want to talk to these people. And guess what? I talked to her for 2 hours in a parking lot. When I finished talking to her, I said, meet me at my house tomorrow after you drop your baby off. Not only did she meet me, but she brought 6 other women to my house. And that was my first group of sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I don't know how much you guys know about sunflowers, but sunflowers look toward the sun. I had to learn to look toward the sun, and I had to teach them to look toward the sun. Autism is not a wonderful thing, but it's not the end of the world. And we can get over it. We can get through it if we just have the tools that we need. But we have to get the tools that we need to be able to do that. And I've met so many people who are blessed in ways, but that device, to buy an iPad, and you don't want to buy just the normal, 32 gig iPad. You need to get at least a 64 gig iPad to be able to carry this child through school, because you want them to be able to use it. You know, you don't want to have to replace it. You want them to be able to use it. Get the iPad. They can't get the iPad. And then the program. When you get the program, if you don't know how to use it, you need to find somebody to teach you how to use it. If you're not blessed enough to know somebody to teach you how to use it, you're going to have to pay somebody to teach you how to use it. That's even more money that they don't have. When I know I was paying $1,400 a month for my child to go to ABA therapy. And that is with insurance. That was my copay. These parents don't have the funds, and their children are suffering because their children can't connect with the parents. The parents can't connect with the children. And they all had to learn that it was nothing but a soul connection that they needed to make. So what No Greater Love first started doing was paint parties. And I had Zoom paint parties. I would send out all the equipment that they needed, the paints, everything. And I would get on Zoom and we would paint wooden plaques. And one of them, like this is one of them right here. we paint wooden plaques, and I would send that to the families. It went to the families free of charge. One day we had a little boy who was deaf, and his parents were like, he can't participate because he's deaf. Why? Well, we can't do him and paint with him and try to tell him what you're saying. I said, all I needed you to do was tell me he's deaf. I'll see you at the party. I'm sending you the pack. And when the party opened up, I had an ASL person there to talk to him. And the look on his face when he saw that person signing to him. No greater love. There are so many organizations out there. I'm not going to even try to flunk you. There are so many organizations out there that deal with autism. But there are very few organizations out there that deal with autism that literally touch the people that they help. It is my goal to touch the people. My people that belong with my organization can call me at any time. I babysat via Zoom on the phone while a mom took a bath and a woman in Detroit. I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's all about what you can do to help. That's what that is. No Greater Love became No Greater Love simply because my husband said, you need to talk to these people. And now I no longer have him. But last year, we honored him by doing a retreat for moms in Destin, Florida. And the whole thing was about taking care of you, because if we don't take care of ourselves, our children don't have what they need. I'm not very good at that. I'm not going to even sit here and lie to you. I didn't make it to my daughter this morning until 10. I cried because I'm used to being there at 6 in the morning. Then I felt terrible because I had to leave her now. But why didn't I make it there? Because I was sleeping. It's the first time I've slept. I'm still hard on myself. This organization is one that is eagerly waiting to help children and parents do what they need to do to make that bond. Because if you cannot communicate with people, you can't have a bond with them. And strangely enough, we as parents, especially I can say Amanda and I know, we could communicate without verbally talking. But a lot of the world, they don't know that. If you all had gone and been able to look at my live when they were washing my daughter's hair and her eyes were open, she was communicating a lot. She was not a happy camper, and her side eye rolls, they were letting you know it. But you'd have to know that that was her communicating. You'd have to know that when she walks up to you and she takes your hand like this and squeezes it, that's an I love you. And she's gonna go on about her business. But for the people who don't know that and can't get that, just think about what it would be to have the child have the device that they could put it in and it would say it, like Amanda's son. And what must it do for Amanda for her son to say, I love you? You know, it's a lot of stuff that we as individuals take for granted. And I myself did the same thing. So I'm not talking about anybody. I have taken people talking to me for granted all my life until I didn't have one to talk to me. And now I'm in this house and I don't even have anybody but Amy. So I know now what it means to say, I love you. I never cared before. I used to say, I don't need to hear that. All I need to do is let you, show me you love me. That's a lie, y'all. I literally know now I need to hear that. I need to hear that. I need to see it too, but I need to hear it. Think about what parents would be able to do if their child could say, I'm hungry. If their child could say, my stomach hurts, my leg hurts. My daughter can't tell me any of that. So guess what? When I see her acting like something's bothering her, I have to go through the plethora of medication. Okay, let me try this gas medicine. If this doesn't work in 30 minutes, let me try this Tylenol. If this doesn't work, then let me try the Motrin. But then my child's getting all this medicine. But guess what? My child who has epilepsy, autism, myasthenia gravis, asthma, pica, prolonged QT interval is getting all that medicine anyway. My daughter already takes 14 drugs a day. And if she can't tell me what's hurting her, I'm only adding to the drugs because I've got to make it stop because I know it's something. And I know that may not mean very much to some, but for me, and I think that's the difference in the system and other autism organizations, I'm living this life every single day. It means something to me. I know what it means. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to feel like you're not connected to the person that you gave birth to. I know what that feels like. And that's why I do everything in my power to pull so many moms out of the deep depression that we sink into, because we sink into it because we feel like it's our fault. Something that we did caused this to happen. So now we are having to suffer the guilt of what did we do to our children. We've got to get our moms out of that. That's my next goal. But right now, my initiative is to get 300 iPads in the hands of children with Prolo Q2 on them. When I get that program, I have a person willing to work with every parent for free to teach them and their children how to use it all over the United States. This is a battle. This is a fight. And if anything, my daughter has taught me not to give up. And that is her purpose on this earth. That's really all I had to say. Thank you.
Well, we thank you. And that's a lot. I remember a few years ago when I met you and online, and I remember you making that post about an Amoree flying in one direction or the other and praying. And I was scared, I was scared. And fast forward to where we are right now, I've been following every video and I've been scared, but sorry. Watching your strength and your determination and your faith, and even watching Amoree as she lays in the bed, and her faith and her determination and her strength, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? And so I felt helpless because I was like, well, what can we do? What can we do? Because we're not doctors, we're not nurses, we're not there at Our Lady of the Lake. We can't impact medically, but we can impact, through prayers. I've seen you come home happy because the doctors have given you, pretty decent news. And then I've seen it take a turn for the worse, where you've come home and you couldn't even sit in a chair. You're laying down in your bed, on the brink of tears, sharing with us the whole journey. And I know that there's some that might criticize, as you've mentioned, why are you showing this? But it reminds me of Job in the Bible. And I just want to say thank you for allowing your life and your daughter's life to be a testimony for so many of us, because no matter what our crosses are, we all have one to bear. And I know that what you're teaching so many of us, and even Amoree with no voice, she's teaching so many of us not to give up, not to stop fighting, to believe, to have faith, even the size of a mustard seed. And so I went out one night, last Sunday night, with my husband to get ice cream. And this was just on my heart after watching one of the videos. And I was like, what can we do? And then it came to me about, the buddy drive. I feel like God put that on my heart. And normally I'll do a buddy drive in the wintertime, but I was like, I want the whole team, like the whole group, so we can make an even, greater impact. And I want the children to have the buddies. So that way, just like Amoree has her butterfly buddy, they can have theirs to comfort them as well. But then I also thought about no greater love and having a double impact. So I'm glad that you shared that, because there's nothing that I could write. There's nothing that I could put on a flyer. There's nothing that I could articulate, because I'm not living it. You are, and you have been. And so I want to connect everyone here, so that way they can see what Amanda and I have been watching and observing over the years since we met you. And thank you for allowing us to do this, because we wouldn't be able to do this without your permission, and also Our Lady of the Lake as well. And so I hope that Amoree's journey impacts everyone that's listening tonight, and that we can continue to allow Amoree to impact this world. Even from her hospital bed, she is making an impact. One of the things that Delasper said to me this morning when she sent me a message was how intelligent these special needs kids are. I never knew what autism really was until I met Amanda Morgan. I've listened to her shed tears, with me. I think one of the hardest moments between Amanda and I is when she gave birth to her third child, Troy, and she was having him tested for autism. And she just came out on social media and shared the journey with us, and her heart just broke. She was like, how is it that I've been blessed, with 3 boys, and all three of them have autism? What are the odds of that? That was really hard. She was upset with God. She was upset, as Delasper was saying. I'm sure she was angry. She was sad. But you watch these moms and the dads, and at some point after they go through the mourning and the feelings, they get up and they put these capes on. There's a art of Amoree with this cape on that someone did of her, and I love that picture of her, because all of them are our heroes. The moms, the dads, the children, they are very much valuable in this world. So I am very thankful for this. If you can't tell, this is very near and dear to my heart. I've never met Delasper in person yet, but that's another thing that we get for anyone that wants to travel to Baton Rouge, Louisiana with us. I told Amanda today, I was like, if I've got to get a U-Haul and rent one to put all these buddies in, then a U-Haul it is. And if I need to pick up someone from Austin or whatever on route, then that's what we're going to do. But we're going to bless lives. We have been so blessed. And I love this company so much, because we are always taught, one of our core values is generosity, and also giving more than we take. The community's blessed us. Our lives have been blessed. This is absolutely an opportunity now for us to bless other lives. Delasper, one last thing I wanted to share as well, many people don't know, but you shared a glimpse of it, is in the past year, it's been tough. I've watched you and your husband, Warren, and I've just watched so much from a distance, and I'm sure so many people have as well, and they may not have articulated what they've watched. But when you lost your husband, I know that was very tough, and all of this has been in the course of a year. And then after that, or in that moment, you also, in that season, you lost your mom, you lost your best friend, And all of these individuals were very impactful to Amoree as well. And Amanda also told me too about how important it is to have structure in the life of an autistic child. I watched Amoree go through a depression, even though she doesn't have a voice. I heard her moan for her dad. You know, it's been hard. So when Delasper responded and said, "Oh my gosh, I am in tears. You know, I am filled with gratitude that so many would be willing to do this." I believe that, and I know that we can't replace those who are gone. We can't replace diagnosis, but we can make a difference. And I want to also say, lastly, that if someone cannot afford, you know, the $20 buddy, it might not even be that they can't afford it. It might be that God is leading them to support with their finances in another direction, and that's okay. Don't get upset if you don't see a whole bunch, you know, flowing in all at once. It's okay. It just means that where their act of kindness is, it might be going in another needed area. But if we can get letters for the parents, I have a box that I'm going to have here in my office to collect those letters. You can collect them too, and then just put them in a pouch, you know, mailed to me, and then we'll get these all to Our Lady of the Lakes Hospital as well, because I've seen Delasper many nights just kind of alone, and there's no one there anymore, you know, to speak with. Oftentimes she can't have anyone there with when Amoree's home, because we don't want to risk Amoree getting sick. But these parents still need to take care of themselves. They still need to hear that the world is thinking about them, whether it's a scripture, whether it's a picture, whether it's a sunflower, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be just a buddy, all right? I really wanted tonight, I wanted Delasper on because I wanted you all to understand where your commissions are going to. It's going to an amazing cause, and it's like the gift that keeps on giving. But I also want to be very clear that we're doing this in the name of Amoree Sanders. So we have a United States map that I'm working on, and our goal is to get at least one buddy donation from every single state. So that way we can go back to Amoree and say, you know what, girl, the whole United States right now is behind you. And we're making a difference with these iPads and with these buddies right there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because of this smart, beautiful, and intelligent girl. And then she can give us the side eye. So, Amanda, thank you for sharing about that app as well, and also the iPad. And I'm glad that we got to see a glimpse of Drake in the process too. So thank you so much. And Delasper, if you have anything else to share in closing, by all means, we just want to say thank you. I know that the website is being tweaked right now. Warren, her husband, was really behind the tech part of that website. If you guys know anybody that works on websites that would be willing to kind of assist, pro bono, please let us know, one of us know. But right now she has a board member that's going to kind of jump on there, but pretty soon that'll be up and going as well. And hopefully we can get others beyond this buddy drive to support this nonprofit. So
I just really want to say thank you. This is probably my first time being this open about Amoree and about her journey. I've given snippets, little bitty pieces to everybody over the past, we've been on this journey now 7 years. I've given little bits and pieces of it, but like I've done this time, where every day, I think today is the first day Amoree has not been on the camera. The first time I've been open and honest, and even open with my feelings, because I keep my feelings in, because I feel like I'm the one that's the strong one, and nobody needs to know that I break. Even when you were mentioning, my husband died February 18th, 2022. My best friend, who when Amoree was born, came and lived with me for 2 years to help me with Amoree. So she's my best friend of over 47 years, died on March the 16th of 2022. And then on March the 18th, exactly 1 month after my husband, my mother died. And those were my 3 main support systems. So that was a serious thing. And I had to like back away and take care of me and try to take care of Amoree. And Amoree still has moments where she's looking for her dad. She's going to the pantry. She's going to places that he went. And when we go to places that she would normally go to with him, she's looking for him there. She has this song. I don't know if y'all know the mommy finger, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? She keeps recording it back to daddy finger. And when it finishes playing the daddy finger, she goes back to daddy finger. So we have those moments, and I have my moments. So I'm trying to make sure that I pull my moments of anger when she's not in the moment of anger. So I'm like kind of bypassing which way am I going now? How's she looking like she's feeling today? Okay, she's looking like she might be a little bit off today. So I'm gonna see if I can pull myself back together. And that's where we are. But just to be able to see people come on, and like I say in my lives, to come on and talk to me and say, you know, we're praying, we're thinking about you. That has given me so much strength. And you say, I'm strong, but I'm going to be honest with you. I use Warren's words on this. One day we were looking at Amoree in the hospital bed, and he said, you know, they say God never gives you more than you can bear. And I said, yeah, that's a lie. And he said, well, if that is the truth, what must he think about Amoree? Because we're not really going through anything. It's just our heart breaking. She's literally going through this battle. And he nicknamed her Warrior Princess. So that's where she gets, and I don't know if you've seen the t-shirts that my friend designed, but that's where the swords come in, is that she's a warrior and she's fighting. And her strength, her fighting gives me strength. Today, we had a little problem because she had a coughing attack about maybe 2 hours before I came here. And in that coughing attack, the tube started coming out and they had to push it back down. So that kind of threw me. And that's why I had not eaten at all today. And when Teresa told me, we'll be ready for you in about 5 minutes, I said, okay, let me stuff some popcorn down my throat and I'll be right with you. But just keep praying. The doctors are thinking that we may be able to get the tube out tomorrow. And I'm hopeful that it will be tomorrow or it will be Tuesday, because if it's Tuesday, that would be the best birthday present ever in the world. And I am going to link on, if you're on Facebook and you can get on my page, look, because I'm going to put a Zoom link. On Tuesday, we're going to turn Zoom on and we're going to have it on all day long. And people will be able to just come into the Zoom room and say happy birthday to her. She will be 12 on Tuesday. And I'm really looking forward to this birthday because I am prayerful that we will have the tube out and she will have on some real clothes and we can comb her hair and she can roll her eyes at us again. And thank you all so very much for your love, your compassion, your concern, and your support. It means the world to me. And believe it or not, it's going to mean the world to the moms and the children in the ICU ward, because that really is a family. We're stuck there together all day, every day. And these babies need something to hold on to. Amoree actually reached for hers before we left. So just know, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. And by the way, Amoree's nickname is Butterfly.
Oh.
And she doesn't play with any other toy. She's never played with any other toy. I have dolls that are just in the box. I have one doll that she tore the box open because she thought the sucker in the doll's hand was real. And when she found out it was plastic, she threw it down. So the fact that she would play and hold on to that Scentsy buddy means the world to me. And the fact that that Scentsy buddy still smells and it's the same pack that it came with, means the world to me. Thank you so very much for having me. And I'm sorry I went over your time.
No, no apologies at all. Thank you so much. I'm looking at everybody's faces, and you know what, you guys? Are you guys ready for the mission now? I know that you were earlier, but give us a thumbs up if you're ready to go in the name of Amoree Sanders, our little warrior princess, our butterfly. Oh my gosh, my heart is so full. Thank you guys for staying on tonight. I know it's Sunday evening. We're taking a little bit of time away from your families, but this was worth it. I wanted you to hear exactly from the mom, Delasper Sanders. You know, we all have challenges in life, and outside of this fundraiser, what we're doing is so good. But I want each and every one of y'all to know, Rhonda, Isabel, Heather, Sherry, Amanda, Allison, everyone, Maribel, Sylvia, Donna, Misty, I hope I'm not leaving anyone out. But you know, we're all going to have challenges in life, right? And my mom always says it takes a village. Well, we're the village. And we are so blessed to be with such an amazing company where we can be a village to so many others and bless people. Who thought that something like this could bring so much joy and so much peace and so much harmony to those that are really going through it? When I saw Amoree in the bed with her butterfly, I was like, that's it. I told my husband, I was like, I think I messaged her at like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, she's going to kill me. But I was like, I've got to message her. It's all for a great cause. So we are ready. Amanda, did you want to say anything in closing before we end this?
Sorry, it wouldn't be on mute. I don't have a whole lot to say, but I'm just like, I've been fighting back tears the whole time, but I'm just so excited about this because it's another way for me to give back. And if anybody understands the struggle, it's me. So I'm super thankful and excited to be able to do this. And so if anybody has any questions about autism or anything like that, don't be afraid to ask or whatever. To learn more and understand more, but I'm so thrilled to see so many willing to help out as well for both fundraisers. It's just amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. We've never had this much support for any fundraiser that we've ever done in my 8 years, almost 9 years being with Scentsy. So Amoree is very special. All right, everyone, wipe the tears and let's get to work. There's a book. Oh my gosh, that's No Greater Love, right?
This is the No Greater Love 21 Days of Resilience.
Oh, I love that. I love that. See, she forgot to even say that she's also an author through all of this. But she comes from a family of authors as well. So, and we can find that on Amazon, right?
Yes, but you all will be getting an autograph.
Oh gosh, thank you. I wrote down everyone's name here too. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. And I know another goal that Delasper has is I told her I'm committed to 100 buddies myself. And so she wants to try to get one of those in the hands of each parent that's also getting a buddy as well. So we're doing some great things here. You guys, poor Donna, she's over here, got tears too. You guys have an amazing evening. Delasper, thank you for allowing us to have a portion of your evening. I will provide the link to Delasper's Facebook as well, so that way we can all follow along Amoree's journey, and especially Tuesday, so we can wish Amoree a happy birthday. All right, you all have an amazing evening, and let's get to work. Bye, everyone. Good night. Good night, Delasper. We love you.
Good night. I love y'all too. Thank you.
You're welcome.